Доброго вечора.
Доброго вечора, і ми з України. Марафон
Good evening, and we are from Ukraine. So this is the news marathon with Ярина Капітан, Станіслав Безушко at Перший Західний. We will be with you till 8:30. As millions of Ukrainians, according to the president of Ukraine, we are all volunteers. Today is the day of volunteer. We've been celebrating it since 2017. As the order says, it's about honoring the people who go and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. Why is it celebrated on the 14th of March? Because it was a group of volunteers who went to a training field near Kyiv, directly from Maidan, to prepare for the defense of Ukraine. This holiday has become even more relevant today because we are all being volunteers and we are all congratulating everybody, in particular those who are defending the country on the front lines. We are not just congratulating, but we are also expressing gratitude to those that are defending us and helping both on the front lines and in the rear. We are honoring those who are contributing even in the slightest, also those who came back to their workplaces, who will be paying taxes to make sure that the Ukrainian economy is working and that the budget will be built during the war, and also to repel the aggression of the Russian enemy. The president in his latest address said that Russia has been preparing for this attack for decades and now they don't know what to do. Our armed forces are dignified and creative, and the enemy doesn't even know where to look for reserves, where to look for support. And helping invaders is shameful, and one of the American generals said that the Soviet air defense system is cool, but it's only cool when it's used by Ukrainian armed forces, who are very good at using it. And the enemies are saying that Ukrainians are trying to keep their pilots, keep their planes, because this is what is the most important. People who know how to use the equipment. You may have thousands of cool planes, but without the pilots, it will make no use to have them, and Ukrainians know about this. Our armed forces are repelling the enemy, and as the president said, we shouldn't be relaxing, we shouldn't be giving up, because the victory will be with us. And what happened today in Kyiv with the missile that hit a residential quarter, leaving one person dead and dozens wounded, you may have seen this video, and this tells us that we shouldn't be relaxing too much because the victory is still somewhere far. So you can see these shots from Kyiv, the consequences of the missile strike. So we can see the debris, we can see parts of the missile, and Mykola Zhernov, who is head of the military administration in Kyiv, said that our defense is very efficient, not just in Kyiv, but it's being reinforced and it's ready to protect the city against enemy attacks so that they don't get to the city. Coming back to the situation in Kyiv, I will be citing him.
Нас в студії людина з Харкова та Олександр Сердюк, Колмен, бородатий з Горобця, українець та привіт, слава Україні.
Ukrainian, hello, glory to Ukraine, glory to its heroes, good evening, glory to Ukraine.
Це що ми поспілкувались, так.
Всім добрий вечір.
Okay, so good evening everyone.
Коли ти приїхав з Харкова, скільки ти?
So when did you come from Kharkiv? How long have you been staying here? So this is the shot of the previous interview. So I'm a volunteer in Drogovich. I came here 3 weeks ago when the bombardment started. I came to Kyiv railway station, so I was going to bed, but then I realized that it was something wrong. Having some explosions. When it all started at 5 a.m., it was chaos and panic at home. I told the people I need 3 more hours to have a good night's sleep. I told my girlfriend that I wouldn't be leaving Kyiv. I took all my things in a backpack. There were trains going to Kharkiv and to Drogovich. So for some time I called my peeps, so they told me to come to Drogovich and help there. On the first day I went to the town hall, I joined the Territorial Defense Forces. They asked me whether I knew how to use weapons. They asked me if I knew how to drive. I told them that I had my driver's license somewhere back in Kharkiv. Then I enumerated all my diseases. So I told them I could be a post-delivery guy, and they told me to go and become a volunteer. So that's what I've been doing over the past 3 weeks. I'm sending people to Berdichev. And when people ask me why am I not on the front line, I just respond to them that I wanted to, but they didn't take me. So the head of the Territorial Defense just told me that there are guys like you who are sent to become volunteers. Okay, so there are people like that who don't mind. He is the driver, the guy that I'm telling you about. So there are different situations. Someone is being sent to the front line. I have this DJ in Rakhiv. He just came to a cafe and he received his conscription notice. So that was what happened at the beginning. So Drogovich has the best military commissariat in the world. In some areas, they send everybody to the front line, and I have friends from Kyiv calling me asking, how do I join the Territorial Defense Forces? So there are different things. Like in Dnipro, it's very hard to get to Territorial Defense Forces, and people at the training fields are also being trained, but they don't get to go to the front lines. I know that there's a demand for drivers. My friend just received a phone call that they needed a driver. Nobody was checking because it was an emergency need. Can I have some water, please? So did you get a booster? Your booster dose? No, I just got my second dose. So in addition to war, we still have coronavirus, and in any polyclinic you will now be offered booster doses. So I got a booster dose together with my mom. Is she with you? Not here in the studio. Yes, she is in Drogovich with me. There were 2 politicians. I will not be just giving their names, and one of them said, "Take your mother, bring us somewhere safe," and the other said, "Don't panic." So my mother was staying at the hospital for a week, then she stayed in the basement, and then she came here. So do you talk to the guys in Kharkiv? Yes, daily. So all the Kharkiv guys are here. 400,000 people are here in Lviv. I've never had so many people speaking Russian. I know that your women and children went to Poland, and the Kharkiv people are here. But the plus is that they will see a European city. They will see that there are no bandarivtsi and Europeans here. No Natsiki. No, the fascists come from the other side. I know that people from Kharkiv organized a coordination support center. So, did you do the same in Drohobych? It's hard to get to Kharkiv these days. I know there are small villages there. In one of those small villages, the Russian guys, they blew up a bridge in Izum district. The situation is dire. So, how about Drohobych? So we know that some people are accommodated in schools, in residential quarters. I'm in residential quarters. My girlfriend is from Drohobych. So as soon as I came, they told me there was an apartment vacant, and there were my friends, and I offered that recommendation to them. I'm like the mayor of Drohobych. In Kharkiv, people are more dynamic. In Drohobych, people are more slow. Everything takes a lot of time to fill out, to complete. And people say, "Oh, we don't have this type of tool. This is not buckwheat." So they gave me a list of like 30 items that they were lacking, and it took me 30 minutes to find everything. You know, the majority of people coming here saw a European city, and we will learn to be more dynamic and more quick from you. So I've been here for 2 days, and I'm tired of people from Kharkiv. They are just sitting here having their coffee and taking pictures. I'm fed up with that. Just think about what's happening in Volnovakha, but on the other hand, if these are women and children, what should they do? There are 2 types of internally displaced. Those who left on the 23rd, on the 24th, those who are looking for tennis courts, those who are looking for saunas, and there are other people who have been bombarded, and I have no questions for them. So the Kyievska Rus hotel, the prices are high, so it's 3,500 per suite. I was wanting just to accommodate my mother there, but in Drohobych my mother has found quite a nice accommodation. So I just remembered from the previous interview that we had with you. It was in late December, and you said that it was politics. We are brothers, it's all politics. And I said, what would you do when you will be bombarded? So how about those friends of yours who said it was all politics? They've all become nationalists. Yes, they are doing everything, making Molotov cocktails, trying to find Kadyrov's phone number. So my friends who had most of Russians in their audience, my blogger friends, they are just telling Russians to go and have themselves. So everybody has understood everything. We shouldn't be doing any explaining. For 2 years I've been a nationalist. Everybody has understood everything apart from relatives from Russia. It's like a different sort of relatives. So my mother was calling her relative, and that relative said, "Nadia, what are you telling me about? You are just bombing yourselves with the missiles." But on the other hand, we are such a superpower that we have so many missiles that we are bombarding ourselves, we are defending ourselves, and also launching those missiles in the opposite direction. So I had this meeting with Andruhovich at memory concert for Misko Barbara, and he told me that the situation had to erupt somehow. I support his opinion. We had to go through this, through tragedy. I feel very sorry for those cities and people who lost their lives, but we needed that for many people to understand in what country we are living. So we started the conversation about Ukrainian. I was driving here by taxi. It was quite strange for me. So it was this taxi driver being very experienced, having 30 years of experience. And there was also another man who joined, who started speaking Ukrainian, and the taxi driver said that there were many newcomers in the city who spoke Russian. I understood that the guy who joined us, who couldn't speak Ukrainian very well, it turned out he was from Dnipro, and we started this conversation about Ukrainian, and I told them we shouldn't be pressuring people, we should give them time to learn the language. The taxi driver was very radical, saying there's no time left, they had 30 years to learn Ukrainian, in particular the last 10 years. So that guy from Dnipro said that over the past 2 weeks he was trying speaking Ukrainian, and he said that there were people who were insisting on speaking Russian, saying it didn't matter. So there are some people who still speak Russian. So I have already started this battle. I didn't go to restaurants and cafes in Kharkiv which had their menus in Russian, but right now I don't think is the time to talk to people. I don't think there will be many people who will say, what is the difference? For some reason people are contacting me, so this lady called Irina Kyiv came to Lviv from Kyiv, and she still has no understanding of the situation. She's just asking, who doesn't want to evacuate people from Mariupol? Aren't these the Ukrainian armed forces? So I just sent the contacts of this lady to the security service, to the police guys, to the territorial defense. So you are in the territorial defense, why not deal with her yourself? No, they refused to take me to the territorial defense forces. So if you see Irina Kyiv somewhere on the streets, don't talk to her. So there are many people like that here. Others travel to Poland saying that in fact the situation is different. I know many people like that who are saying that we need to sort everything out. When the war is over, we will have to look closely into that. So I'm living in my bubble. I don't have people like that in my surroundings. So I know this one guy who used to be a great supporter of everything Russian. So is he Dobkin? No, Dobkin, Loboda, they are also great fans of Ukraine nowadays. 2 hours after we released her phone number, so a week before the war, this guy who was very pro-Russian, he started changing his opinion. He started saying that we should be defending Ukraine, and he joined the Territorial Defense Forces on the 24th. Is it Lomachenko? So Lomachenko still has that post up. So we asked Lomachenko who started the war, when it all started. So Sasha, I asked him, who started all this? You understand everything. So I see that in several minutes after the post, he started changing his opinion. Yeah, he joined the Territorial Defense Forces, but we did not report on that. How do you think, will those who left Kharkiv be back in the city? The question is when. We don't know when the war will be over, so will it be on Monday? So I received some intel from a military guy, and I received some intel from my neighbor. I think they will come back. I don't know whether there are homes to return to. I don't know whether my home is still there. I was doing some repairs. Only the ceiling was left. And I was just joking, saying that the Kazakhs from Kuban will come and get into this new apartment. So when talking to those people from Kharkiv, did many of them go abroad? Yes, many women, some guys, some IT guys stayed abroad, and they say it doesn't matter for them because they will be sending money either from abroad or from here. I told my mom, you should be going to the United States only, not to Italy or some other places. So I'm on Twitter, and I have very many people who are reading my Twitter, many people in the US. So many people from Chicago and others were volunteering. So Mr. Biden, welcome my mother. In the same interview that we had with you, we discussed that even though you switched to Ukrainian, your content was still in Russian because you had some contracts, you had some content previously made. So with demand being for the Ukrainian language, will the situation change? So the guys already tell me that all the performances should be translated into Ukrainian. Our YouTube channel is now in Ukrainian. We have renamed our Instagram page. Of course, it's a little bit hard because not everybody talked and used Ukrainian for 2 weeks. For 2 years, we had only 3 guys who can speak Ukrainian, but the others can use written Ukrainian. It's complicated. It's great for me to be a volunteer, and yesterday I was invited to a meeting with the armed forces, and I felt like I was wasting time because I had other things, and then I was invited to this interview. I love Lviv. I met Andriy Shevchenko here, the politician, not the football guy. So half of Kharkiv is here. I have many acquaintances here, so I'm not thinking about creativity now. Is it the siren? No, this is just the regular burglar alarm.
72 роки тут живе людина.
Ну, ми просто не впевнені.
Okay, so you should invite this guy who is 72 years old, and Lespo Deriviansky is currently in Lviv. Thank you for the intel. So what are your needs? What are you sending to Kharkiv? As I told you, it's hard to get to Kharkiv these days. So there are some requests coming from Berdych, like 11 tents, and I managed to find them in 2 days. The most interesting, if we can say so, but in general, what are the most important things? These are the helmets, bulletproof vests, thermal imaging cameras. When I talked to one person from Lviv, he told me that they needed people. We need to be unloading something. I didn't know it was about bulletproof vests. Now I know that there are different levels of protection. Level 3 does not protect. Besides the bulletproof vest, we need thermal linen, we need cigarettes. There are no cigarettes left in Kyiv. So if you're sending something, please don't forget to add cigarettes. So if people ask you for help on Instagram, do you respond? I don't even check. I do help, unless it's Iran or something like that. So I can help them, but I will do it personally. Yes, I repost information, and there are also requests. My uncle lives in Saratov, so can you tell him to go and app himself? I receive very similar requests like that, different things.
важко це зробити, але
From
шукаю
Старий
машину,
Самбір,
і
it's
це
hard
Харків,
to
під Харків.
deliver some
Тобто я гроші
foodstuffs.
знайду,
It's hard
продукти,
to
там,
get
хтось купить, і просто скажіть, що
and
я
find
буду довести,
the
але
car.
ця ситуація дуже важка, туди мало хто йде.
This is a
Ну, ти ж
complicated
розумієш, що одним
situation.
волонтерством ти не
But
обмежишся.
do you
Це
understand
якийсь
that
певний
you will
період,
not
і до
limit
творчості
yourself
треба
to
повертатися. В тебе є якісь
volunteering?
ідеї, як
It
це
will be a
реалізувати в
period, but
Дрогобичі?
then you will come back to creativity. And
Добре, у
do you have any
Львові.
ideas on how you will be doing that in Дрогобич or
Поки
maybe in
це абсолютно не
Lviv?
час. Мені альбом треба дописувати музичний.
Of course, I
але
will be
я не
working
знаю,
on
це
my
поки
music
важко. Я
album.
дуже радію за людей,
But
які
it's
знімають
hard
щось
for
там,
me to
пісні навіть
think
пишуть.
about this at the
Це
moment. I feel
класно.
happy for
Але
people who
загалом
are shooting music
зараз
videos
більше
and writing
проблеми з тим. Я
songs.
розумію, що зараз
But
кому треба,
for
щоб хтось
now,
щось робив. Там я розумію, що
I
люди на
understand that
передку
nobody
і в
needs
теробороні
my
голі босі деякі ходять, бо тільки
creativity.
прийшли, в них нічого
We
нема.
realize
І
that
мені
Territorial
цікавіше це
defense on the
зробити,
front
щоб
line
їм всього
people
спочатку,
don't
щоб
have
їм
the
все було.
shoes, they don't
І
have
це
things to
найважливіше.
wear.
Але ще
This is more
найважливіше,
important for me, the most
будь
important.
ласка,
And what is
робіть
also
скидки.
important,
Ну, я беру
please
оптом, Дрогобич, 5 гривень
make
це не
some
скидка. Я
discounts.
розумію, що
I
у вас
buy
там $1
wholesale.
місяця.
5 hryvnias is
Ліхтарик,
not a
який
discount.
ліхтарик?
I
800
realize
гривень.
that
Кажете,
you are
завтра
all
буде 1000.
basing
Бо долар
your
виріс.
prices
Я
on the
кажу, ви купили за
exchange
200
rate.
гривень
So
мінімум.
I was buying this
Це дуже ти став. Деякі там
light
да,
and it
30%
cost
кидають
800
самі
hryvnias,
наші
but they
гроші.
told me
А
buy
деякі
it
от
now
я
because
купив
tomorrow it
50
will be
робочих, з кожної по
1000.
10 гривень я тобі скину. Я кажу,
So I was
якщо сюди
buying
їдуть російські війська, ти будеш цим
50
просто викидувати
pairs of
танки. Ну,
gloves,
типу,
and they gave me the
таке,
discount
що
of
у нас
5
тому війна, то ж сама
hryvnias per
квартира
pair.
має.
So some
Це
people
жах
are just trying to
Чого
make
про
money
творчість?
during
У
war.
нас
The same
в чаті
situation
постійно люди
is with
пишуть
the
з проханням, ну, скажіть, що хай
apartment.
щось знімають,
In
хай
the
щось робить.
chat,
Навіть одна пані
people are
писала, що свої
constantly
програми
telling
знімають,
us,
тільки кожного тижня давали.
please
Ну, ми хочемо
tell
ще
them
щось
to
отримати.
do
Кажу, ну, люди
something, to
вимагають
film
іншого
some
контенту,
videos.
створювати щось. От
People
навіть я
ask
от
for a
спілкувався з
different
хлопцями,
type
які
of
щось не вибрали.
content. I was even talking
Може,
to
їм там нема чим
guys.
зайнятися. От і останній фільм, коли
Maybe
дивився,
they
і
have
ви
nothing
щось
to
дивилися,
do.
щось
So,
хочеться?
what
Ну,
was
просто
the last
серії,
film
тут
that you
повинні
saw?
щось
So,
свої
do you
проблеми,
have
давай
this
не будемо
need to
обсуждати
watch
старі.
movies, to listen to
700 зараз на
music?
передовій.
Ясно,
Майстер
сорі.
фільмів, ну.
That was the last film that I saw.
Ні.
Ну, ми
Since
про це не будемо говорити.
He's a
Будемо
nice
два проти
guy.
одного, тому на цьому тему
So we
закриваємо.
will
Ми
not
зі
be
Станіславом вчора говорили
discussing
поза
that.
ефіром. Він за, я
So
проти.
we
Тому буде два
discussed
проти, один
that
за.
Да.
with
Ще було
Stanislav
класно, мабуть,
because it will be
битва
2 to
проти
1 in this
блаблакарщиків. Це от
situation.
епічна історія, наскільки
I'm
ми зараз
also
єдині
fighting against
українці.
the BlaBlaCar
Точно нічого, я ж не знав,
guys.
він мамі там в Вінниці хотів до
I
Львова
received
довести.
a message from the guy who wanted to bring mother from Vinnytsia. So he just put the price at 1800 hryvnias. It was 2 weeks ago, and he said the price was that high because it was dangerous. The other guy put the price at 1600 hryvnias, and he told me it's war, it was dangerous. And I put up a post with his address and phone number, and in some half an hour he just called me back asking to delete the message, and then he said that he would bring her for free to Lviv, and I told him not to Lviv but to Drohobych. And we just agreed that the price would be normal. After that, we started working with the BlaBlaCar office. So if you have any situations like that, send me the screenshots and I will be sending the screenshots to their office. If you are seeing some guys called Christians and there are no pictures there, they will try and make money on you. It's like a mafia. So we should be inviting you once a week so that you can send us all those phone numbers for the BlaBlaCars and shops that are trying to make money on war. We already have this list. So it's like a separate direction in the territorial defense. Why did they not take Sasha? So it could be a separate direction of work. Yes, we have already blocked the phone numbers of Kandelaki and those other people. We should be doing our job at different fronts. So if you've had some rest, just go and join some volunteer centers. People can slice potatoes, other guys can do something else.
Це нормально.
You need to do a requalification now. So if you need something, if you need anything, we are on air between 6 and 9 p.m. So we will be announcing everything on air. We need bulletproof vests in Drohobych. Protection grade 5 and 6. We also need helmets. I will find the cause because I can find everything. So I will send you the contacts of those who have come to me because they are talking to the regional administration. They are bringing things to Kharkiv. And also we should announce his Instagram page, Sasha's Instagram page. It's Borodatый Svoробушka in Ukrainian. Today we found Kadyrov's phone number. It wasn't us. Somebody found him. He's not near Kyiv. Did you talk to him? So this is what the avatar looks like. So you can go to Sasha's page. So this is also part of the information war. How much time do we have left? We will be saying our goodbyes. I wanted to show you the first picture, the first tattoo that I did today, so you can see it on my hat. So can we show it? Yeah.
Це татуювання чи це зачіска?
So is it a tattoo or a hairdo? No, no, no. I haven't shown my tattoo to anyone, but I will show it to you. I will be boasting my tattoo today because for my entire life I was very much against tattoos, but I remembered that when I was a 10th grade student, I wanted to get a tattoo, and I promised myself that if I got one, it would be only this one. Alright, so this is my first tattoo, Glory to Ukraine, it says. Was it painful? No. I spent 4 hours getting this, but I liked it. Yeah, you can bear this for Glory to Ukraine for sure. So I'm leaving. Thank you for coming. We are always happy to have you both in our studio and at our radio station. And Tolik asked me to come to the radio station. We were just faster in inviting you to our studio. I met him on the street. You can also invite a guy from Hazeve if you want to. Thank you for this valuable intel. So if you know of any interesting people who are currently staying in Lviv, just write to Instagram or WhatsApp and we will definitely invite them to our studio. It was Alexander Serdyuk with us, Borodatый Svoробukha. He is currently volunteering in Drohobych. He himself is from Kharkiv. Thank you for finding the time to come to our studio. And in the meantime, we are going to show you a video about our Paralympic team who set a new record and who are the second in the team medals rating.
Василь Кравчук із села Тухолька,
Василь Кравчук from Тухолька is the Paralympic champion 2022 in skiing relay. Together with Дмитро Суярко and Anatoly Kovalevsky, they got the 11th gold medal for Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to its heroes. I don't feel like I'm a hero. The heroes are those guys who are defending Ukraine. It's my small contribution. So the relay is one of the most important disciplines. Ukraine has always been in the top 3, and during the final stretch, Ukraine was first, and Anatoly Kovalevsky managed to come first. We are like Ukrainian Cossacks, all for one and one for all. This was an incredible victory. Vasyl Kravchuk is the debutee of the Paralympic Games, and it's the first medal for Lviv region. Pavlo and Vasyl Kravchuk are the first athletes from Lviv region who reached such high results. We need to show the results so that everybody sees our flag and that Ukraine is powerful regardless of the situation. Pavlo, by the second representative of Lviv region, was 6th and 4th. The Ukrainian national team broke all records over the 9 days of Paralympics. Our team was second only to China with the number of medals won. We're back in the studio, Перший Західний, and as Stanislav said, today we will be having many guests, and it's a coincidence that the next guest is Irina Friedrich from Kharkiv as well. She had to come here because it's impossible to live in Kharkiv nowadays. She came here with her 2 kids. Welcome, Irina. Glory to Ukraine, glory to its heroes. So, what is your story? You are staying at the center women's perspectives, which is sheltering women with children. Before you came here, where did you live in Kharkiv and what is the situation there? The situation is dire. We left on the 5th of March when the bombardment of residential buildings started. We got scared. I took my kids and we came to Lviv. And why did you choose Lviv? Did you know where you were going? Did you have any friends or acquaintances here? No, we just decided to leave Kharkiv. We got on the train, and only on the train we realized it was a train going to Lviv. We were just going into nowhere just to escape the bombardments. The kids were very much afraid. How old are your children? My daughter is 2.5 years old, and my son is 10 years old. Did you come here by yourself? Do you have any workmates? So I came here with the sister of my husband. She also has a child, a son. So I assume that your husband's stayed there. Yes, they are there volunteering. So we just talked to Alexander, and he told us that he spoke to his acquaintances in Kharkiv, that in some districts the situation is very complicated. So who do you keep in touch back there in Kharkiv, except for the husband? So it's the husband, the family, his mother, his father, and also the grandparents. They stayed there, and I found a volunteer. I'm very grateful to them. So today the volunteer brought food, drugs, and water that they needed. Yes, there are volunteers there, and it's great because I don't know what we would do without them. I left, and I don't feel very comfortable because we left the elderly behind, and I'm very worried about them. But I first was thinking about my children. How about the elderly? Is it hard to transport them here? We left when the bombardment was heavy, and we are in a different part of the city, so it was very dangerous to go to the place where they are living. So you are one of those who just took the first essentials. We are very grateful that when we came to Lviv, we approached the volunteers. If it's hard for you to speak Ukrainian, so yeah, we approached a volunteer, and the girl gave us the phone number of Lyuba Maximovich. I'm very grateful. I'm just switching between Russian and Ukrainian at this point. So she's working at this center, Women's Prospect. So it was the first phone number that I dialed, and I'm very grateful to them because right now we feel as if we we are vacationing at a resort, we have everything. There's nothing that we are lacking, so we were able to come down a little bit. We even get massages there. A girl comes and gives us massages. Women's prospects know how to organize such things. They've been working with women for many years. So they are saying that they've been working since late 90s, so they have this immense experience. So when you were getting out of Kharkiv by train, we saw the videos from there, huge crowds of people. It was like a movie. I was carrying my child in my arms, and we were staying in the crowd for 40 minutes, and there were policemen, men in uniforms and with their weapons. They were trying to make order of the crowd. They were shouting at us, trying to make us behave in an orderly way. We didn't know what was happening. We just wanted to leave. So the first ladies with children, they brought us from the crowd. I saw several elderly ladies who were unconscious. It was fear mixed with this crowd. How much time did it take for you to get here from Kharkiv? We traveled for 20 hours. We were lucky. We were able to get on the train with our kids, but people were standing for 20 hours. It was packed. People were standing, sitting, so it was fully packed. Were you able to eat and drink something? Yes, we had something with us, and just the hot water was the tastiest thing that we had on that train. And the lady that was traveling with me in the compartment, she just poured some hot water. We had tea, but just imagine how these small things like hot water, how important they are after the bombardments and basements. So when did you come? Early in the morning. We did not expect that. People are so open, so generous. They fed us. They came to us asking us what we needed. They gave us the phone numbers. So we were just taken up in the arms, and we forgot about everything. Not forgot, but we just calmed down. And now we are ready to move further. So women's prospects are helping us a lot. So how long have you been staying here? It's been 2 weeks since the 5th. We've been here since March the 5th, so it's been 2 weeks. What is your plan for the future? Then Luba promised us to travel to Spain. She said it would be very good for the children because we don't know for how long this war will go on. The kids need to study. We will be back for sure, but we need to live our life and stay somewhere in the meantime. How many women are currently staying at this center? We have 51 people staying. And is there enough space? Well, there's not much space, but it's quite convenient. And Oleg Matsura, I don't remember the last name correctly, he gave his work building to us. This used to be an office, so they gave the office premises to us. We have the mattresses, we have the bed linen, we had the pillows. The bed linen is changed on a daily basis. It's like a resort. I did not expect to be received in such a way. The situation is not like that everywhere. Yes, we were lucky. So how about food? Do you make the food yourself? No, it's delivered to us. A boy from Odessa, I'm thankful to him. I met him, I went to pick up the food, I met him, his name is Stas. He makes such delicious food, not just for the women's prospects, but also for others. He's a volunteer. And what do your children do? There are many things, a lot of entertainment there, and even psychologists come and talk to children. They draw, paint, they try to entertain them, so they are constantly doing something. It's much better there than being in the basement. So do you leave the premises? We see how many people are currently walking the streets in the city center, right? Yes, we go and have walks. I wanted to come to Lviv. It's been my dream, but it got realized under such circumstances. In December, we wanted to come to Lviv, so we came a little bit later. It's a very nice city. Have you been to Spain? No. It will also be a first for you. We are traveling tomorrow. Yes, we are leaving tomorrow, so you will be received there. Yes, it's the job of women's prospects. So everybody who stayed with the center receives the support. So we leave our contacts even so that in the future we can report to them what the situation is with us. And Ira, what did you do back in Kharkiv? I was a florist. Yes, so this year I did not work on the 8th of March. No florist in Kharkiv, so are you planning on being a florist again in Kharkiv? So are you planning to come back to Kharkiv and be the florist? I can be a florist in Spain. There's time to do something in Lviv before tomorrow. It's not the 8th of March, it's past the 8th of March, it's already the 14th. But there may be another event for which you can organize something. So you talk to your husband, what do they tell you? What do the men tell you? The connection is very bad, it's muted. I was even sending the videos of our kids to my husband, but he cannot watch them because the internet is very bad there. And it's very hard to get through to them. Only when he calls me, we talk to each other. He says the bombardments are very heavy, and our neighbor got injured in the leg. He just went to the street to have a look, and it hit his leg. So it's very dangerous. And what does he think about your decision to go to Spain? It's not Lviv, it's much further. Of course, he is very worried. He's a family man. He worries about me taking the kids. He is worried about me leaving for a foreign country, but I hope that we will be able to be back soon. But that's what we need to do for now. We have to bear it. How many of your friends and acquaintances have left Kharkiv? Has anyone stayed in the city? I mean, children and women. Yes, there are some women who have left, who have stayed there, but those that don't have children and they are volunteers. Those that have children are either staying near Kharkiv or they are in the western Ukraine or even abroad. So those females who are volunteering, what are they doing? Helping those distant parts of Kharkiv, or do they help the soldiers in other hotspots? The godmother of my kid is working at a filling station, so she is making sure that our military men get the fuel, the gas. So we may assume that small businesses in Kharkiv don't work. No, it's still a hotspot there.
Ви кажете, і сестри вашої
So
чоловік також
you are saying that you came here with the sister of your husband, and how about her husband? What is he doing? Is she traveling to Spain together with you? Yes. So this is a question not to you, but to Luba Maximovich. So when you leave, will they be taking new people? in your place. Yes, there are very many people. We are leaving tomorrow, and I know for sure that another family will be coming in tomorrow, a woman with 6 children, so it will be enough place for them. An entire bus is leaving for Spain tomorrow. So, how about the documents? Does the center help you with the documents? The center helps. So, how about passports for foreign travel? We have the passports. We don't need a passport for foreign travel even to come to Spain. So, this is the situation for the refugees. Everything has been simplified. So, your smaller kid does not go to school, but your son, he is a 4th grader, so he has terminated the studies. Is he using the platform that the ministry has introduced, and how will he study in Spain? He will go to the Spanish school. So will you be learning Spanish? Maybe there will be a class for children speaking Russian and Ukrainian, and then we will try and study Spanish. Children need to study. And then the mother will continue with the studies. Are you not afraid that you will like it there in Spain and you'd like to stay? It's good somewhere abroad, but it's much better at home. Maybe we will like it there. Maybe we will like the sea, the weather. It's warmer there, but we still like the snow. We still like making the snowman. Yes, Alexander said that people will be back. Who will be rebuilding Kharkiv? And our mayor promised that Kharkiv will be even more beautiful. And Volodymyr Zelensky made the same promise. So we cannot but believe what he is saying. And we also believe in our victory. It's the question of time, of our mobilization, and we shouldn't be expecting that it will come very soon. So we had Irina Friedrich with us in the studio, a woman from Kharkiv who is currently staying in Lviv, and we are thanking to the Center Women's Prospects that is helping women with children and organizing conditions close to evacuation, and they are even able to negotiate with other countries so that our women can go abroad to be back to their native cities. Glory to Ukraine, glory to its heroes. We feel that the Ukrainian is getting better and better. So what are the services provided to internally displaced? What they can do with the documents? I suggest that we watch a video clip which will be later put up on the page of ПЕРШИЙ ЗАХІДНИЙ so that people know more about their rights.
Якщо втратили всі документи, держава
If
про вас
you lost all
подбала.
your
Додатку «Дія»
documents,
Мінцифри
the
створило
state
«Є
took care
документ».
of
Цифрове
you, so the
посвідчення містить
Ministry
всю
of
необхідну інформацію та
Digital
QR-код для підтвердження
Policy has
особи.
created
Його
an
визнали на усіх рівнях.
e-document
Та чимало
which has been
переселенців таки
recognized on
хоче
all the
відновити
levels,
паперові
and many
документи.
internally
Ми кожного
displaced
дня
people
отримуємо
want
до
to
1000
get their
дзвінків.
paper
80%
documents
це питання відновлення
reinstated,
документів.
and
Проте
we
наразі
receive
відновити
up to
вдається не
1,000
усе,
calls on
все
a
тому,
daily
що через воєнний
basis.
стан
The
України
majority of
задля
them are about
безпеки
the
реєстри не
reinstatement of
працюють. Відтак
documents.
отримати,
For now,
наприклад,
the
закордонний
registries are not
паспорт
working
неможливо,
in
але
Є
Ukraine, so it's
можливість продовжити
impossible to get a
діючий
passport
закордонний
for
паспорт,
foreign
якщо
travel,
термін
but you can
його
extend
закінчується
your
або вже
existing
закінчився. І
passport
також
if it has
всі внутрішні
expired or
паспорти,
if
якщо
it's
термін у них
close to the
закінчився, то на
expiry
період
date.
війни
So
термін автоматично
all the
продовжується.
Відновити
Ukrainian
можна ідентифікаційний код
passports
або свідоцтво про
are
народження
also
дитини.
prolonged.
Є
You
змога
can
також вклеїти
reinstate your
фотокартку
tax
малечі
code,
у свій паспорт.
certificate
Куди
of
звертатись
birth
у
of a
Львові,
child, you
підкажуть
can
вам
put
за
a
цим номером
photocard of
представники
your
Центру надання
child
адмінпослуг.
inside your
Інформацію про
passport.
це знайдете і
There
на
is a
сайті
support
Львівської
line
міської ради.
at the Center of Administrative Services, and there is the same
Не
phone number
загубляться в новому
available
місці
on
ваші
the
соціальні
website
виплати
of
при
Lviv
народженні
City
дитини чи
Hall. Your
допомога для батьків,
social
які мають діток з
payments and
інвалідністю.
social
Інформація про
benefits
те, що ви
will
претендуєте на
stay with
спеціальні
you. The
кошти, зберігається в
information that
реєстрі
you are
Міністерства
entitled
соціальної
to
політики.
social
Якщо
benefits
у вашому
is
рідному
stored
місті
in the
управління
special
соцзахисту
registry of the
більше не
Ministry of
функціонує,
Social
кошти все
Policy,
одно до
and
вас
if your
надійдуть
Department
через
of Social
банківську
Policy
систему.
is no longer operating.
Людина отримала допомогу малозабезпеченій сім'ї в Київській області, місто Буча, припустимо. Там зараз важка ситуація. Соцзахист не працює, відповідно, не можуть перерахувати допомогу. Але Мінсоц по своїй базі даних бачить, що допомога була призначена і виплачувалася. Вони автоматично роблять продовження цієї виплати, і кошти автоматично скидає на Ощадбанк.
Немає немає проблем із пенсіями. Щоб її поновити, варто лише звернутись у сервісний центр фонду на Львівщині або ж зателефонувати на гарячу лінію відомства. Вас одразу перереєструють. Аналогічно із навчанням для школярів. Поселились у новому місці, віддати дитину до нової школи не проблема, певнить мер Андрій Садовий.
Вони повинні підійти в найближчу школу, там зареєструватися, і також вони будуть мати можливість підключитися до навчання. Якщо немає відповідної техніки, школа надасть такі можливості. Діти повинні вчитися.
Якщо занедужали чи хотіли потрапити на прийом до лікаря, усі міські поліклініки готові приймати нових пацієнтів з інших регіонів України. Будь-які процедури доступні, включно зі щепленнями.
Окрім того, що ми проводимо вакцинацію від COVID-19, ми продовжуємо нашу обов'язкову планову вакцинацію від всіх решту інфекційних захворювань. Бажано, щоб, звичайно, переселенці мали з собою форму 063, це є інформація про проведення вакцинації дітей, і що, звичайно, переселенці мають укладену декларацію з сімейним лікарем, то це швидко знайдеться в електронній системі.
Кожна особа також має змогу підписати декларацію із сімейним лікарем у будь-якій поліклініці. Єлизавета Коробцова, Олег Гасюк, Юрій Маковецький. Програма «Очі».
Повертаємось в студію, продовжуємо актуальними новинами. Маємо оперативну інформацію від Генерального штабу Збройних Сил України про те, що відбувається на фронті станом на 16:00. Триває 19-та доба героїчного протистояння українського народу російському воєнному вторгненню. Окупаційні війська продовжують наступальну операцію проти України. Головна мета – введення бойових дій на території нашої держави ворогом не досягнута. Отримуючи відсіч, несучи втрати окупаційні
territory of our state and they fail. Having losses, they get into defensive operation and surrender. The majority of directions, when they try to go forward, they meet resistance of the Ukrainian troops and resistance of local residents. The enemies continue missile strikes with aviation, destroying civil and military infrastructure of Ukraine. They use missiles of high capacity and strike residential districts of big cities, ignoring all the rules of humanitarian and international law. They enhanced the border with Belarus troops. Now they try to capture Izium, and the defensive operation goes in eastern and northern combat areas. Ukrainian forces demonstrate heroic deeds, professionalism, and successfully destroy the Russian troops. We encourage you to trust only credible sources of information. Regarding defense of Kyiv, almost 1 hour ago, I have already said it, and I will read part of the interview with Mykola Zhernov, who is responsible for defense of Kyiv, and when he was asked whether it is possible to enter Kyiv, he said, according to the military rules, in order to take Kyiv, it is necessary to create 2 circles, internal and external ones. Those who are in internal circle have to attack Kyiv, and those which are in external circle have to block the troops. Kyiv is a big city with 4 million people. So now, in order to have these circles, the enemy troops have to bring all human resources to Kyiv. For example, during the Second World War, it was necessary to have 2 million people and 44,000 artillery systems in order to attack Berlin. So I think we should not worry about people
знищують переправи
in
військ.
Kyiv,
Тут
and
мушу
they
додати
hope
деяку
that
інформацію до того,
the
що вчора
enemy
ввечері
troops
говорив
will
про так
be
звану
destroyed in a way they are already destroyed. Yesterday there was a very big convoy, 63 kilometers. Yesterday we had the information that it dispersed. I've read lots of analytical information from British, American and Russian sources. So the situation is like that. They really dispersed, but the operative commandment in the north already welcomed it. Brackets. Why wasn't it bombed? This is the key question, which is asked in social media. Well, everything is very simple. To bombard with planes is a suicide because these convoys usually are covered with missile launcher systems. So now we try to destroy them. We value the lives of our pilots and our planes, and nobody is going to make them commit suicide. This is a rational approach. So the moment they are just above the convoy, they will be immediately shot down by book system. I will explain what is a battalion and tactical group. They have dozens of protective equipment systems. The second point, why Bayraktars were not used. This is different. Bayraktar has up to 4 combat missiles. It's impossible to send all Bayraktars there. For example, just imagine Bayraktar goes there, there are 4 bombs strike and it goes back, so that's not possible. Then the targeted blocking of convoy is also not very good. So Ukrainian commanders understood that this big column, this big convoy is not threatening. And now the convoy has blocked itself, so it created the, so to say, the traffic jam. Now they dispersed, and now we destroy them in small groups. Because when they have split into battalion and tactical groups, it is possible to destroy them with the help of Bayraktar, artillery systems, etc. So, for example, Ukrainian forces do not bring combat units, combat vehicles into residential districts to avoid bombing of residential districts. It means that these missile launchers have to go beyond the territory of Kyiv, and it is already a different situation. So, please, if you do not know the military tactics, do not spread the information. And if somebody is telling you that something is wrong, do not listen to this person. Ukrainian army is very good at combating the enemy. And before our program, I met one of my friends who is in service. They are so far here, they train what should be trained regarding the Western region, and he says that everything is under control. It may seem to you that the situation is very critical, but it means that the situation is controlled. In Mariupol, around 100,000 civilians, and it's impossible just to
Сьогодні вночі у Львові 19-й день війни, 19-й день, як ми перебуваємо під постійними повітряними тривогами. Не відкриємо таємниці. Сьогоднішня тривога була найдовшою. На щастя, у Львові без всяких надзвичайних ситуацій. На Львівщині також, але знаємо, що у Рівному атакували ворожі окупанти телевізійну вежу і адміністративну будівлю біля вежі в селі Антополь, це біля Рівного. І коли вранці про це повідомили, була інформація, що нібито поки оточення загиблих не було, але, на жаль, голова Рівненської обласної військової адміністрації Віталій Коваль на брифінгу, який відбувся буквально годину тому, повідомив, що 9 людей внаслідок бомбардувань загинуло і 9 постраждали. Ще навіть розбирають там завали, роботи активно ведуться, але, на жаль, є така статистика, 9 потерпіло і 9 людей загинуло внаслідок вцілення ворога у телевізійну вежу і адміністративну будівлю у Рівному. Ще щодо перемовин, які відбулися сьогодні, 4-го раунду перемовин між Україною
the fourth round of negotiations between Ukraine and Russia that took place today. They started in the morning, but then the counselor of the presidential office, Mikhailo Podolyak, said that there was a technical pause, and Podolyak said that they would try to prove that 19 days of war means 19 days of heroic deeds. Our positions are just the same, ceasefire, withdrawal of all troops, and only after this we'll be able to talk about some neighbor relations. Podolyak said that communication is going on between two sides, but it is quite complicated. The point is that there are different political systems in the countries. In Ukraine, we have 3 dialects for society, but in Russia, this is suppression of their own society. While they are suppressing their own society, the international companies leave the Russian market. Not all of them are doing this, and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dmytro Kuleba, addressed those companies which are still on the Russian market with a request to leave the market. For example, train networks Metro, Asham, Pirelli or Intercontinental. A hotel is still on the Russian market, and he requested the management of these brands to leave the Russian market, just not to spoil their karma.
Загалом проти Росії у покарання за брутальне порушення міжнародного права і російську агресію проти України за 18 днів з моменту вторгнення світова спільнота запровадила вже 3612 обмежувальних заходів. Це так називаються санкції юридичною мовою. Разом з обмеженнями, які вводилися з 2014 року, загальне число санкцій, запроваджених проти Росії, становить 6356.
The general number of sanctions is 606,366. Now Russia is ahead of Iran and North Korea. Now it is the leader regarding the number of sanctions imposed on it. Russia has become a toxic country, a pariah country the world is trying to get isolated from. Due to sanctions, the economy of Russia is disrupted. Ruble is going down. They're trying to do different tricks about it to stabilize it, and I think they will fail because the reserves of the Central Bank of Russia are blocked. It was quite complicated to urge the partners to cut the Russian banks from global paying system SWIFT, but now their reserves in euro and dollars are blocked. We are trying to protect all the ways to bypass sanctions. We cooperate with our European partners, with our partners in the US, Great Britain, for them to work, to use their influence and to work with the third countries, with the help of which Russia is trying to bypass sanctions. We are also doing everything possible to avoid the situation when crypto business becomes a hub for the Russian business. We try to block their attempts to
work with gold. We try to block their attempts to transform their business schemes. So our position is very simple. If we stop oxygen to Russian economy, we should do it 100%. It is the easiest way to stop the aggression by creating internal pressure on President Putin. We do not stop at what we have already done. While Ukrainian children are dying under Russian air bombs, we think that the sanctions are still not sufficient, the number of sanctions. I have had an argument from our European partners. We have already introduced unprecedented sanctions. We continue doing it. We have never had sanction experience like that. We have to check how the sanctions that already have been introduced work. And by talking to one of the foreign ministries of one of the European countries, I said, while the war is going on, while Russia is killing our citizens, sanctions should be used more and more. New sanctions should be imposed. We have a clear list of the sanctions we would like to be used, and we follow this list. Now we are on the verge of the fourth round of sanctions from the European Union. This will be sanctions against physical and legal entities and on a number of Russian companies. Particular emphasis went to the Russian military and industrial complex. I think we should not explain anything. We should restrict some space for the Russian military machine. America, Great Britain and Canada already refused Russian energy carriers like oil and gas. We try to urge our European partners to do this. The greatest problem is Germany, because for them such rejection is very difficult decision, but we work with them and we do hope that they will hear us and they will be able to find solutions which will balance the energy balance of Germany and will cut off Russia from money it gets from supplying oil and gas to Europe. Now, oil and gas are in Ukrainian blood, and we mention this topic every time. Every dollar paid means that this dollar goes to the military machine of the Russian Federation that commits crimes against humanity and disrupted international security. I would like to use this opportunity once again in order to voice Ukrainian request to all the companies and the governments. Please stop buying Russian oil and gas. We also insist on closing world ports for the Russian ships, processing the cargoes in ports. We insist on cutting off more Russian banks from SWIFT system, in particular Sberbank. Apart from this, international companies also refuse to work in Russia. We have meetings with the heads of such companies. We try to make them understand all the threats related to their presence on the Russian market. And I would like to express particular gratitude to all the Ukrainian communities and communities abroad that exert pressure on these companies, who explain why it is wrong to work in Russia from different points of view. We are grateful for your efforts and initiative. Please continue. International business should leave Russia from both moral and pragmatic reasons. First of all, working in Russia is a blow on your reputation. Nobody would like to be associated with military crimes.
Moreover, Russian economy
економічна політика
is
уряду
on the verge
Росії
of
стає
collapse.
все більш непрогнозованою.
International policy and economic
Компанії
policy of the
намагаються
Russian
втекти
government is
зараз,
more and
аби
more
не виймати
predictable.
капітали
Companies
з-під
are
руїн
trying
російської
to
економіки пізніше. І це
run
робити
away right
потрібно
now,
прямо зараз.
while it is still possible to
Російський уряд
save
вже погрожує
their capitals from
націоналізацією,
Russian
є
economy.
абсолютно
Russian
непередбачуваним.
government is already
Міжнародний капітал
threatening
має враховувати ці
nationalization.
дуже
It
високі
is
ризики
unpredictable.
і мінімізувати їх.
And the international
Трохи більше
capital should
2
take
тижнів
into
чи 3
account
тижні війни,
these
і ви
risks
бачите, що
and
Путін
minimize them.
фактично зруйнував
It's a bit less
інвестиційний
than
клімат,
3
бізнес-клімат,
weeks,
репутацію Росії як
and we
бізнес-партнера.
see that Putin has already
Станом на сьогодні ранок
disrupted
209
investment climate
компаній
in Russia
повністю
and
вийшли з
reputation
російського
of
ринку
Russia as
та
a business
припинили
partner.
взаємодію з
More
російськими
than
партнерами.
200 companies left the Russian market
378
and stopped
обмежили
cooperating
роботу
with
частково.
Russian
Ми
partners.
цим не задоволені. Ми знаємо ці
178
компанії,
have
знаємо
just
їхні
restricted their
маневри і
functioning and
трюки, намагання
operations.
в тій чи іншій
We
формі
are dissatisfied
залишитися
with it. We
на ринку
understand
російському
attempts of these
і
companies
будемо
to
їх дотискати.
still stay on the Russian
Перелік,
market,
який
and I
я
hope
надав, це,
we'll be able
власне,
to exert
перелік
even more
компаній
pressure on
найбільш
them.
відомих. В тому
I
числі
have provided a
світових
list of companies, and
гігантів,
this
які
list
залишають, які є
includes the
системними для російського
most
ринку і
known
виходять з нього,
companies, the giant
створюючи
companies
в
which
ньому
have their
величезні
systemic
діри
presence
і
in the
проблеми
Russian
для
market. And
російських
when they leave,
споживачів.
they
Водночас
create
є низка
holes
великих компаній, які
and
досі не
problems for
пішли
the market.
з Росії.
Apart
Це
from
торговельні
it,
мережі
there are
Леруа,
still
Марлен, Метро,
big
Ашан,
companies
Спар.
which are still
Автотовари
in
Пірелі та
Russia,
Bridgestone Tire.
like
Готелі
Leroy
Аккорд
Merlin
та
and Auchan,
Інтерконтиненталь Хотель.
Pirelli,
В сфері
Hotels Accord
машинобудування
and
це Otis Worldwide, Honeywell,
Intercontinental,
Mohawk Industries,
Honeywell,
Arconic Cosmetica
Mohawk
та
Industries,
супутні товари
Arconic
Oriflame,
Cosmetics,
Kimberly
and
Clark, Coty Retail,
such
Eco,
goods as
Salvatore
Oriflame,
Ferragamo, Philip
Kimberly
Morris.
Clark,
Харчовій
Philip Morris,
промисловості це
Salvatore
ресторани
Ferragamo,
Papa John's і
etc.
Kellogg.
Food, these are Kellogg and Papa
Медицина,
John's
Bayer,
restaurant.
банки,
Medicine,
Райфайзен,
Bayer,
OTP Bank, Citigroup,
Banks,
Societe Generale,
Raiffeisen,
Unicredit,
OTP
Intesa San
Bank,
Paolo.
City General,
Я
Unicredit, and a
ще раз
number of
закликаю їх
others.
залишити російський ринок якнайшвидше.
I encourage them to
А
leave
решту
the Russian
урядів та
market as soon as
споживачів
possible.
бойкотувати ці компанії,
And
поки
I
вони не
encourage
припинять
all the
роботу
governments
в
and
Росії.
all consumers to
Росію
boycott
потрібно зупинити
these
зараз усіма
networks until
доступними
they stop
засобами.
their
І
function
поки українці
in Russia.
зупиняють Росію ціною
We have
своєї
to stop
крові, ціною
Russia
страждань
with any
і
possible
ціною
means,
зруйнованих
while
міст,
Ukrainians are
найменше, що
trying to
може
stop
зробити
Russia
бізнес,
by
це
perishing,
вийти з
by shedding their
російського
blood.
ринку
What
і таким
can be
чином
done by
допомогти нам
business is
зупинити
to
машину
leave the Russian
російської
market.
агресії.
And by doing this,
Внаслідок
you'll help
російського
us
економічного
stop
краху
the
курс
Russian
гривні
military
до рубля
machine.
зміцнився в 1,5
Due
рази.
to economic
Знецінення рубля призвело
collapse,
до того, що середня
now
зарплата в Росії
our
зараз
hryvnia has
складає
become
орієнтовно
stronger.
$350
The
на
average
місяць.
salary due
Коли
to
рубль досягне
evaluation
позначки
in
в
Russia
200 за
now
долар,
is about
вона складатиме
$350
$270 на місяць.
a
Водночас
month.
середня зарплата в
One
Україні сьогодні
ruble
орієнтовно
will fall down
$500 на
even
місяць, і
further.
гривня
It will be
не
about
демонструє ознак
270,
радикального
while the
падіння.
Ukrainian average salary
Таким
is
чином,
about
вже
$500
невдовзі українці
a
житимуть в
month,
2 рази
and still
заможніше
Ukrainian
росіян.
hryvnia is
Все це наслідки
stronger.
катастрофічного
Ukrainians
безглуздого
will
рішення
live
Путіна про
twice better
вторгнення в
than the
Україну.
Russians.
Кожен
We are talking
подальший
about
день
the
цієї
results
війни проти
of
України робить
our
росіян ще
senseless
біднішими.
decision to
Ми
invade
також
Ukraine.
працюємо з
Every day
міжнародними
of war
партнерами
is making
над
Russians
масштабною
even
фінансовою
more
підтримкою України, української
poor.
економіки та бізнесу.
Now we cooperate
Президент
with our
України,
partners,
прем'єр-міністр,
trying
весь
to
уряд
ensure support to
щодня
our business and our
перебудовують
economy.
економіку
The
таким чином,
President, the Prime
щоб
Minister, the whole
створити
government is
максимально
trying to
комфортні
restructure
умови
our
для
economy in such a
громадян
way
України і для
as to
українських
create
підприємців.
comfortable conditions
Нашим
for both
підприємцям зараз
Ukrainian
дуже важко.
citizens and Ukrainian entrepreneurs.
Запевняю вас, що уряд
It's very
докладає
difficult
максимум
time
зусиль
for
для
our
втілення
entrepreneurs.
стратегії
I would like
пом'якшення
to assure you
економічного тягаря
that the
війни
government is trying
для
to mitigate the
України.
economic burden of war for Ukraine.
Повертаємось в студію ТРК «Перший Західний». Продовжимо новинами з економіки. Багато ми говорили про те,
We
що
continue
відбувається в
with
Росії,
economic
але якісь
pieces of
перші
news.
аналізи
We have
по
been
Україні.
talking about
Укрінформ
what
стверджує, що
was
має
happening in
Міжнародного
Russia.
валютного фонду по
Well,
Україні.
Ukrinform says that there is a report of IMF about Ukraine and
ВВП України внаслідок агресивної війни,
the reduction of GDP of Ukraine
due to Russian invasion can be minus 10% in 2022. However, this estimate depends on the situation in Ukraine. In Russia, the drop has already been 9%, and it will be even more. The dynamic of real GDP will be minus 10%, taking into account that the war will not be long-lasting. And here, the emergency financing from IMF, which is 1.4 billion. We already got some amount of this money. This money goes to the budget. To compare, during 2020 COVID year, the GDP growth was also negative. It was minus 4%. However, in 2021, it was plus 3.2%. Moreover, the manufacturing figures may be reduced by 20-25%. We are talking on the basis of those situations, so the basis of those countries which had their war going on in Ukraine. We have to take into account that now we may have very important projects. The taxation is simplified, and as we have discussed here with our economists, in case all the projects are launched and IT people stay in Ukraine, there will be more chances for us to renew these rates. Tomorrow we shall have Stepan Kubida, the head of Economic Policy Department, and he will tell us what is going on in Ukraine. And you may go into Ukrinform resource. They have this information. They got this IMF report, and I would like to say that this is the first and the only analytical information regarding situation in Ukraine. Because before there were some reports, but they were scattered. Even without waiting for Stepan Kubida, in military administration, they try to find free premises for different enterprises. And the square should be more than 500 square meters. So probably this is the biggest problem. Small business may find some premises, but big businesses will definitely have some difficulties. So in case you know about such premises, go to the Military and Civil Administration, Economic Policy Department, and you'll find the contacts which are needed. An interesting detail, Lviv region is complaining about dishonest entrepreneurs. For example, Economic Security Bureau has reported about checking those people who raised the prices. There was a special Telegram channel where you could send your complaint regarding high prices in certain supermarkets. So from the beginning of March, there were 275 messages sent to this Telegram channel, and 63 came from Lviv region. Actually, these were messages from people who either live in Lviv or who came to Lviv, but the majority signals came from Lviv. There were 46 messages from Dnipro region, and all the rest came from Kyiv and Kyiv region. But mainly the complaints were about high prices for consumer products, for flats, and people also complained about prices of
комітет відповідний Верховної Ради ухвалив рішення запропонувати законопроект, яким рекомендує знизити податок на доходи ПДВ з 20% до 7% і звільнити пальне від акцизу. Про це повідомив Данило Гетманцев, керівник комітету. Поки що це лише пропозиція щодо законопроекту, його має розглянути Верховна Рада, але про ці зміни йшлося ще раніше, і знаємо, президент закликав бізнес відновлюватися і в будь-якому випадку підтримати бізнес. Ну, і так як пальне у нас складова більшої частини бізнесу, то сподіваємося, що Верховна Рада піде на цю пропозицію і ухвалить цей закон.
Ще немає рішень по посівній, по тому, як підтримати агропромисловий комплекс, але вже є відповідна постанова уряду, і підприємці не залишаться від
agricultural complex to the sowing season,
важливий нам ресурс, важливо зерно, відповідно будуть підтримати. Не буду зачитувати, я всі цифри, відповідно, можна знайти постанову на сайті Кабміну, але це не йде мова про символічні речі, тобто, умовно, якщо у вас до 10 тисяч гектарів, то такі підприємства можуть отримати не більше 20 мільйонів євро і мають оборот більше 20 мільйонів євро на рік. Ми розуміємо, що це великі підприємства можуть отримати державну підтримку.
І Національний банк України сьогодні повідомив про те, що якщо ви захочете вивезти з України більше, ніж 10 тисяч євро, то ви мусите мати на це тепер документи, а не так, як було спрощено у ці перші дні після початку війни. Це стосується і готівки, і також, як це сказати, золота.
Цінних металів.
Так, цінних металів. Дякую. Ми маємо чергову гостю у студії. Це Таміла Ташева, заступниця представника президента України в Криму, українського кримсько-татарського правозахисниця. Пані Таміло, вітаємо вас. Питання традиційне до всіх наших гостей. Чому ви у Львові? Що ви тут робите?
Насправді ми з командою приїхали 22 і 24 числа, мали проводити заходи Криму у Львові. Власне, частину заходів ми провели. 24 ми всі прокинулись в 5 ранку, що почалося повномасштабне вторгнення. Звісно, що ми протягом 8 років фактично жили в війні, але це новий етап інтервенції, який почався 24 лютого. Нас залишив вже у Львові частину певної команди. Частина команди у нас продовжує працювати у Херсоні, частина продовжує працювати в заблокованому Херсоні, на жаль, частина у Києві, навіть у області, частина команди працює на Західній Україні.
Якщо коротко, чим займається ваша команда? Ви представник президента у Криму. Якщо люди почують таке, вони собі уявляють, що ви в Крим туди-сюди їздите, там щось досліджуєте, захищаєте тих людей, які там зараз опинилися в несприятливих умовах.
Це переміщений орган, який з 2014 року, з початком тимчасової окупації, почав працювати в місті Херсоні. В 2019 році він паралельно відкрив офіс вже за президентства Володимира Олександровича Зеленського в місті Києві. Власне, починаючи з 23 серпня минулого вже року почали виконувати функції так само Національного офісу Кримської платформи. І зараз, власне, в тому числі відслідковуємо ситуацію в Криму, тому що протягом 8 років, власне, ми говорили про мілітаризацію півострова, і один з фронтів, який відбувається, він почався, власне, з Криму, коли окупанти, країна-агресор почала бити, власне, заходити на територію материкової частини України з тимчасово окупованого Криму. Відповідно, ми відслідковуємо не лише, звичайно, що мілітарні питання, тому що це в першу чергу Міністерство оборони відслідковує, а відслідковуємо настрої людей, що відбувається з цінами. Ми намагаємося відслідковувати ті воєнні злочини, які чиняться на території півострову, на літнього півострова, на території України, і те, що пов'язано з Кримом. Ми відслідковуємо наративи, які ширяться в Криму. Це дуже цікаво, насправді, тому що ми розуміємо, що Крим намагається показати, що він буцімто підтримує політику Володимира Путіна, що весь Крим підтримує так звану спецоперацію, як вони її називають. Але насправді люди протистоять цьому, звідти теж мобілізують людей. Ми розуміємо, що
supporting this
Росія
special
сказала вже
operation.
пізніше, що срочників буцімто, да, вони
Russia has stated, for example, that
відправляють на військові дії в Україну. Це виявилось фейком, да, і відповідно в Криму вони роблять те саме. Дуже активно призивають до лав російської армії, відправляють на бойові дії в Україні кримських татар. Це теж робиться, власне, з метою пропагандистською, да, тому що, якщо протягом 8 років ми говорили, що кримські татари не підтримують окупацію, протистоять цьому, а їх просто, цих молодих хлопців, 18-19 років, кидають на війну проти власного ж народу, материнської держави, і вони це потім активно намагаються, в тому числі, підсвічувати.
Можна так трошки будемо посилатись на його інтерв'ю. Він казав, що в нас тут третина підтримують Україну, третина підтримують окупанта, третина підфлюгери, куди подує вітер, туди вони підуть.
30% support Ukraine, 30% support Russia, 30% don't know who they support. Has anything changed? During all the period of independence,
окупація, чи підтримував тоді
and I will not go into details why we had occupation.
Населення в Криму завжди було
In general,
достатньо
the
таким
population in the Crimea
в'ялим,
have
називаємо
always
це так,
been
дуже
languid,
неактивними вони завжди були. І відповідно, те, що відбувалося в 2014 році, звісно, що це була військова агресія, це була спецоперація в Криму, ніякі не референдум, який там кримський народ, як вони говорять, определився, це абсолютно фікція. Власне, якщо подивитися на теперішні настрої, більшість людей все ж таки не підтримують того, що відбувається зараз. Тому що вони, якщо подивитися на останні ці 2 тижні війни, то вони бачать заповнені морги.
What they see now, they see lots of morgues, which are filled. They see lots of wounded people in hospitals in Джанкої or in Sevastopol. And also, for example, now we see that the schools in Джанкої and some other cities are closed because these are military people, wounded or reserve, live there. And definitely it influences the general attitude. And when the Russian Federation was trying to hide the number of losses, the fact that they take conscripts and they are sent to fight, definitely everybody sees it. The prices have become really high. Or, for example, deficit of some goods which were supposed to be there. Well, they do not have war, but, for example, sugar may be bought only 5 kilograms for each person. There were some drugs which were insufficient. Now the situation has become a bit more complicated. Dollar is very high, so it is just the same. They see it, and I think that still the majority of them do not support it. You have mentioned hospitals. Do you have any data about people killed and about the number of wounded? I have found about 1,200 wounded soldiers who are placed in the Crimean hospitals. Well, today we have published the material which we got from different public sources, and lots of this pieces of information are confirmed. But, for example, yesterday and today there were funerals in the territory of Crimea. Definitely these people were, some of them were born in the Crimea, some of them were the colonizers. They left, they were living in the territory of the Crimea, they are the Russian citizens, and they were sent to fight and they were killed. And these are hundreds of people.
території Криму, вони є такими перевалочними, в тому числі можна згадувати про Севастополь, власне, або, наприклад, якщо говорити вже про Львів і Львівську область, те, що відбувалося під Явором вчора. Власне, ці ракети, якби, з Саратова, вони ж були відправлені з Чорноморського регіону, власне. Тому слід розглядати Крим як окуповану територію, як ту базу, з якої, власне, відбувається подальша, якби, ця інтервенція, ці військові дії з боку країни-окупанта.
Що виглядає ще більш цинічно, бо окупант використовує територію України для того, аби бомбити ще іншу територію України. А ви згадали про збір даних, ми будемо так відкривати секретів, але у вас є якісь канали комунікації, з якими ви постійно спілкуєтеся, з яких ви отримуєте інші дані, так?
У нас досі працює система звернень, це сотні звернень, які ми отримали після війни. Ну, дуже різні, є ті, які підтримують ці політичне керівництво, головнокомандуючих наших, військових і так далі. Це дуже інколи зворушливі листи, які надсилають нам з Криму. Є ті, які нам перші особливо дні повідомляли про переміщення військової техніки на території Криму. Відповідно, в подальшому це називалося на материковій частині України. У нас працює ціла команда аналітиків, вони теж волонтери, тому що зрозуміло, що ми як виконуємо свої посадові обов'язки, як державні службовці або політичні призначенці, так і в тому числі певною мірою волонтерською роботою займаємося, або акумулювали голосами людей. Відповідно, так, ми робимо аналітику і по всіх пабліках, які є кримських, всі форуми читаємо, відповідно, намагаємося цю інформацію верифікувати. Окрім того, дійсно, спільно з Офісом Президента, з Міністерством юстиції України, Офісом Генпрокурора, слідковуємо не лише воєнні злочини, а, власне, і які чиняться, тобто обстріл, якщо грубо говорити, якщо обстріл лікарні, дитячого будинку і так далі, це воєнний злочин, поряд з тим є порушення прав людини. От, наприклад, те, що ми зараз бачимо, наприклад, з Херсонщини, це найбільший регіон до окупованого Криму і Севастополя, то там відбуваються, окрім воєнних злочинів, і ще порушення прав людини. Наприклад, це викрадені журналісти, право захисників, або там це тиск на депутатів міських рад, обласних рад і так далі, коли людей викрадають. Фактично, вони є насильницькі зниклими людьми. Відповідно, ми це теж фіксуємо, для того, щоб передавати в міжнародні судові інстанції. Їх є, як відомо, кілька. Це Міжнародний кримінальний суд, який, власне, з воєнними злочинами працює, є Європейський суд прав людини, або є Міжнародний суд ООН, власне. Наш постійний президент Антон Кореневич зараз знаходиться у Брюсселі, тому що він є агентом України у справі в Міжнародному суді ООН Україна проти Російської Федерації. Далі минулого тижня мав суд. Зараз ми чекаємо, власне, результатів цього Міжнародного суду ООН щодо попередніх заходів по цій війні. Ми зараз маємо, тому ми сподіваємося на швидкі результати. Звісно, що певні елементи і по Криму ми теж туди додавали.
Ну, власне, і в урядові структури закликали і навіть пересічних громадян збирати якомога більше доказів для того, щоб і в міжнародному суді в Гаазі, і в міжнародному суді в ООН можна було довести, якщо військових злочинів, воєнних злочинів є, ну, їх можна побачити наглядно, так, бо коли ракета влучає в торговий будинок там чи розстрілюється волонтер, це одне, і фото, і свідчення, а от з порушенням прав людини, людину викрадають, one the person is kidnapped. Do you have any evidence in order to use this evidence in UN court? Well, we do have lots of them. And generally, we consider this, we look at the situation in temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine.
Наших українських громадян виходять і говорять свої ні, країні-окупанту, все ж таки урядові будівлі знаходяться зараз під контролем країни-окупанта, цих от людей. Відповідно, звісно, там відбуваються злочини. Ми говоримо, що там намагаються реалізувати так званий кримський або донбаський сценарій з цими референдумами, які вони робили, власне, або Донецькій, Луганській областях, або в Криму. І завжди такого роду операції, ми обговорюємо всередині нашого штабу, як ми говоримо, що вони це все роблять просто як під копірку.
are done, are
винищення
replicated,
журналістів,
actually.
намагання.
Killing of
Викрадення активістів.
journalists,
Коли до
kidnapping
активіста вламуються у
human
двері,
rights
або там
activists,
якийсь
for
дзвінок до
they
активіста,
come
вийде там
to
з кимось
rights
поговорити, потім
activists'
людина
house. Or, for
пропадає.
example,
І
when
це
there is a
абсолютно
call, a
стандартні
person
сценарії, які ми реально
goes to a
бачили в
meeting and
Криму
then
в
a person
2014 році,
disappears.
да, або
This is
там в Донецькій,
standard
Луганській областях,
scenarios
або ті
we
люди,
saw
які колись
in the
моніторили
Crimea
ситуацію,
or
наприклад, в
in
Чеченській
Donbass.
Республіці, да, як там
And
просто зачищалися
we
поле
remember the
активістів.
situation
От
in
абсолютно ті самі сценарії, як по одному
Chechen
методично
Republic
зараз відбуваються
on the
на
human rights
території
activists
нашої української
were,
держави. Звісно, що в силу того, що ми 8 років живемо в війні, у
as
нас
we
є
have been
ряд
living in
правозахисних
this war for
організацій,
8
є
years,
державні органи,
we
які
have a number
навчились цим
of
працювати. Бо коли був
human rights
14 рік,
organizations.
ми
There are
вчасно не
state
документували
structures
цих
that
злочинів,
already
ми
know
не
how
документували
it should be
матеріальних
done.
втрат,
In
наприклад, ми не
2013,
документували
we
цих воєнних
didn't
злочинів, які
get
відбувалися.
the
Зараз,
documents
дякувати
about the
Богу,
records.
дійсно, всі
So
державні
now,
органи,
thanks God,
експерти, там
thanks
якісь
God,
волонтерське
all the
експертне
experts,
середовище
all
об'єдналося і
the
збирає одну
state
базу. Це
governments
важливо.
got
Там збирають
united
інформацію, є
and
окрема гаряча лінія по
they have one
збору
database.
інформації про
There is even
насильницькі
one
зникнення.
hotline
Це теж дуже важливо.
regarding
Дякувати
the
Богу, хтось
disappearance of
повідомляє про те, що хтось зник.
Thanks
Через
God,
деякий час
some people
ці люди
informed that
знаходяться. Хтось
somebody
досі за
disappeared
там, більше
and
ніж 2
then this
тижні
person
війни
is found, for example.
досі не знайшли.
Or there are cases
Пані Марія
when people
назвав ситуацію
disappeared
для
and
Криму
still
зараз це ва-банк, щоб повернутися додому. Це так?
and
Звісно, що ми всі боремося за те, щоб
Imam Ali said that
активні військові дії не
it's
відбувалися
necessary
в Україні, да, щоб люди не
stop
гинули,
combat
щоб всі
actions
наші території вони були під нашим контролем.
interrupt
Власне,
these
під час
actions and the
тих
territories should be brought
певних
back
періодів
to
перемовин,
to the control
переговорів,
of
які
Ukraine.
відбуваються на різних рівнях,
And
зараз
during
навіть,
these
да, в умовах
negotiations
війни,
that take
звісно,
place
що
at different
українська
levels,
держава, наші керівники
definitely
наголошують на те,
Ukrainian
що
state,
ми
our
маємо
heads
у загально визнаних
state all the
міжнародних
time
кордонах
that
91-го року бути.
have
Тому,
the
коли ми
territory of
говоримо про
Ukraine
повернення контрольних
within
територій,
the borders
звісно, що
that
ми
were
говоримо про
recognized
повернення
at
контролю всіма
1991.
територіями
And
української
when we
держави,
are talking
включно
about
з Кримом,
control
Донецькою, Луганською
over
областями.
territories of
Кримська
Ukraine,
платформа
we are
зараз
talking
активізувалася,
about
оскільки не
controlling
зібрала
all the
велику кількість
territories,
представників для
including
того, щоб
Crimea
питання
and
Криму
Donbass.
піднімати.
The Crimean platform now
Питання
is
кримської
well organized,
платформи
right?
ми тривалий час якби рухали і
The
після
issue of the
кримської
Crimean
платформи,
platform
Смолчого саміту. Власне,
is
президент підписав указ ще в серпні минулого року,
well,
яким нам дав додаткові повноваження представництва
organized now,
президента.
and the
Але ми всі
president
розуміємо,
gave
да,
us
що
some
питання
authorities
Криму
to
наразі
promote it
трохи
even
якби
further.
засунули. Звісно,
We
що ми як
understand
орган, який
that the
ключовий
issue
на
of
вертикалі президента,
Crimea
да, ми
is
постійно
now
щодня
not on the
працюємо з
top
цією
of the
темою. Тому ми
agenda.
намагаємось,
We as the key
витягуючи
body
ці от певні
is
наративи,
constantly
формуючи
working on
українські
this topic.
контрнаративи, це
When we are
вписувати в
talking
порядок
about
денний
Ukrainian
навіть зараз під
narratives,
час
we try
активної
to
фази
include
війни.
these
Це
topics
дуже
on the
важливо. Тому,
agenda
звісно,
even
що про
now
Крим
when
ми
it is
не
the active
забуваємо, ми
phase of war.
намагаємось говорити, але ви
Definitely we
розумієте самі,
remember
що коли
about the Crimea,
гинуть якби
but
тисячі
you
якби
understand
людей,
that when
цивільних,
thousands
наших хлопців
of
і
people die,
дівчат
our
військових, це
civilians,
достатньо
our
складно. Але якби
soldiers,
ми не забуваємо,
it's
ми
quite
намагаємось на всіх
complicated.
рівнях це
But we
просувати.
remember
Сьогодні
about
було ряд
the
матеріалів,
Crimea, we try
інсайдів,
to
які
promote
кажуть, що
it.
Макрон з Шольцем просять
Today
Зеленського
we have
відмовитися від
had
Криму. Ось
several
скажуть, тоді потім
insights
погодиться
that
на це.
Macron
Ви
and
хоч боретесь за
Scholz
кордоном з
asked
тим, щоб і
Zelensky
там
to
наші дипломати, і суспільство Німеччини і
reject,
Франції сказало їхнім керівникам, що хлопці так не ок.
refuse
Звісно, що
from
боремось, власне, ми
the Crimea,
щотижня
and
робимо,
then
інколи
Putin will
частіше
stop the war.
робимо такі, ми називаємо
What
це
are you
сводки по
doing?
Криму,
Well,
да, і,
we
власне,
are
з
trying
цими
to get some
сформованими
information
наративами і
about the
контрнаративами з нашого
Crimea.
боку для
We
міжнародної
are
аудиторії. Окрім того,
researching
всі журналісти
narratives and
міжнародники, якщо говорити, з якими ми
counter-narratives.
співпрацюємо,
Moreover,
ми їм,
all
власне,
the
теж
journalists,
говоримо про Крим,
international
тобто
journalists,
про війну
are
і
also
про
given
кримський
information
контекст.
about the
В
Crimea,
цьому
about the
не
war,
так давно,
about the
кілька днів тому,
Crimean
да, 2-3 дні
context
тому
within this war.
приїжджала
A couple of
делегація
days ago, we
європарламентарів, власне, ми з ними
a
говорили,
delegation
говорили з керівником
from the
делегації
European Parliament.
Петром
We had a
Самостревичусом,
talk
і,
with
власне, з
the
ним
head
ми
of this
сподіваємося, що
delegation,
найближчим
Petros
часом
is very true, and we hope that in the nearest future we shall organize a joint meeting with Crimea within the context of war. So certainly it is important to discuss the topic, but I am more than confident that political management of our country understands pretty well that we fight for all the territories, for liberation of every inch of our territory. Because the victims we suffer should not be in vain. How do you cooperate with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Well, we do cooperate with them. We provide such information to the Office of the President, to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because we are the key structure working on this issue 24/7. And we do not remember already what day it is today. We are working 24/7 and we render all the information we have for this information to be used on the international level. You have mentioned that some part of your team is in Kherson. We get less and less information from Kherson. Well, we actually understand that they are working under occupiers, and this is the vulnerable category because these are civil servants who dealt with very sensitive issues, who called the aggressor country. So we are very careful, we are very cautious, but we get lots of information through via other citizens. But definitely the situation is very complicated because every person may be kidnapped, may be killed, and it's important to cooperate with human rights organizations and to provide them with the information. And even today we had an appeal regarding persecution of activists in the non-government controlled territories. Today, Khrushchev stated that in the Kremlin they are trying to find the way out of the situation. So probably, can you tell us, is there any good way for the Crimea, for Kremlin to leave the Crimea? Well, it seems to me that this country, I mean Russia, has already found its way, a road to nowhere, and I hope that it will become a strong country on the international level, and I do hope that Russia will disappear from the map. You have mentioned the narratives present in Crimea. We have had here some guests, and they just quoted some of the people from Moscow whom it is impossible to persuade what's going on there. So what are the narratives in the Crimea? One of the narratives, and it is new, not new one, but now it is voiced from a different angle. They say it cannot be the case that the Crimea comes back to Ukraine because the Tatars will kill the Russians. But why? We like it because they at least assume that the Crimea may be returned to Ukraine. It's good for us that they at least are aware of the situation. There are also some narratives that there will be a railway, a connection between the Crimea and the continental part of Ukraine. And we were trying to produce some counter-narratives, and we were just posting photos with Simferopol and Ukrainian flag, stating that such railway connection may happen when Simferopol will be under Ukrainian flag. Definitely they spread
що
the
люди
narrative
дуже
that special
якби
operation is
радіють,
supported
вони
in the
публікують
Crimea,
якісь
that
фотографії
people there
там з
are
мирними
happy,
дітьми, яких
they
заставляють
even
якісь вірші
publish
розповідати. Да?
some
Ну,
photos
це
and
абсолютно
videos
стандартні історії, як
of
вони це роблять на
children
території
quoting
Російської
some
Федерації.
poems.
Окрім того,
So this is the same
вони
story which is
намагаються
happening in the
переслідувати
territory
навіть
of the
там
Russian Federation.
активістів, яких не так
Also,
багато,
they
але
try
які все одно
to
намагаються з антивоєнними якимись гаслами виходити.
fight
Їх
against
вже почали
activists who are
штрафувати
there.
на
These activists
30-35
were
тисяч
fined
рублів.
for
Це біля 9-10 тисяч
35,000
виходить гривень.
rubles. It's
За,
about
вони, як кажуть,
9,000 hryvnias
пропаганду там,
for
чого-то там.
anti-war
Це ж взагалі з
propaganda.
до 15 років ув'язнення. Але все одно
And
люди
you
намагаються
now
все одно
understand
виходити,
that
комусь приходять попередження, наприклад, як
there is also an article with 15-year
і
imprisonment.
Заїру Смідляєву
And,
прийшли попередження від ФСБ
For example,
про заборону
some of the
організації
Crimean
масових заходів.
Tatars
Да? Тобто вони
already
розуміють, що
got
єдиною
warnings
фактично
from
великою
Federal
силою, маю на увазі, серед
service that
населення
it is
Криму
forbidden
є
to
кримські
organize
татари.
rallies
Мене
or
ще питання буде, бо
protests.
я вже ніби всі висловили, я згадав, як зараз працює кримсько-татарська спільнота. Ми коли з Алімом Алієм говорили, він казав, що один основний
When we
акцент
were
це
talking
Туреччина.
about with
Там
Alim
з
Aliyev,
Ердоганом попрацювати,
he
і
said
також почали
that
трошки в Середній
it's
Азії,
necessary to
де
work with
раніше
Erdogan
Росія почала переконувати
with
країни
Turkey, and
вступити в
also it's
війну.
necessary to
Звісно, що
work in the Middle Asia.
підтримка турецької сторони, вона є важлива, вона
Definitely,
завжди була.
we
Протягом 8 років дійсно
value
були
support of
важливі
the
заяви з
Crimean,
боку
of
президента
the Turkish
Реджепа
side,
Таyyіпа
and
Ердогана
there were
щодо достатньо
important
кволої
statements of
реакції країн
the
Заходу
Turkish
у
president
2014
that
році.
there were very
І
weak
якби
responses
тоді
of the
реакція була
Western
іншою,
countries in
то відповідно
2015, and
ситуації
if
теперішньої
response
війни
at that
ми
time
могли би
was different,
власне
probably we
уникнути.
wouldn't
Звичайно,
have
що
this
частково, якби я погоджуюся
war
з
now,
цими тезами.
and I
В
partially
Туреччині
agree
достатньо
with
велика
this.
підтримка є
In Turkey,
і біженців з
we really
України, і
we
кримських
really
татар, і не
see
лише.
support
І це
even
важливо,
to the
да.
Crimean Tatars, to the
Насправді з
Ukrainian
Криму теж
refugees.
достатньо велика кількість людей
Actually,
зараз їде. Хтось
there
встиг
are
там поїхати
lots
в
of
перші дні, тому що ми ж
people
розуміємо, да,
going
що вікно
to
можливості для
Turkey from
виїзду
the
воно
Crimea.
закривається. Ми
We
відслідковуємо
understand
власне
that
ці
the window
маршрути,
of
які ще можуть
opportunity is
бути
closing.
для
We try
російських
to
громадян, відповідно, да,
see
для
what
кримчан,
kind
тому
of
що вони
routes
зараз
are
під контролем
open
Росії
for the Russian
знаходяться.
citizens.
Єдина можливість це
I mean,
фактично
those
переїхати
who
через
live in the
Керченський
Crimea. The only
міст
chance
зараз,
is
тому
to
що
go
сполучення авіа немає
via
Сімферополі і там
Kerch
Москви, хоч
There
він
is
є
no
незаконним, але все ж таки, да.
flights
Єдина
from
можливість
Simferopol
зараз
to
є це
Moscow,
виїзд через
so the only
Вірменію.
way is
З Вірменії
to go to
пробувати
Armenia,
виїхати, наприклад, до
and
Грузії,
from
там ще
Armenia you may
ну,
go
там
to
далі
Georgia,
пробувати подорожувати.
and then
Але це
you
складно
may
достатньо, люди
travel
все одно
further.
їдуть.
But it is
Я
quite
знаю
complicated.
ряд родин,
Well, some
з
people
десяток
still
родин, які
go.
вже
I know, for
виїхали до
example,
Турецької
about
Республіки.
dozens
Тому так,
families
з турецькою стороною потрібно
that
працювати.
have already gone
За моїми
to
даними, дуже
Turkey.
активно турецька
Yes, we
сторона
have
зараз
to work
намагається не
with
лише
the
в
Turkish
військовому
side.
плані, а й в
I
гуманітарному
know that
допомагати, тому
they
що
try
в
to
Україні живуть
provide
тисячі
not only
турків.
military but humanitarian support,
До
because there are
повномасштабного
thousands of
вторгнення Російської
Turkish
Федерації.
people of
Власне,
Turkish
зараз
origin
і
who
не лише
live in
турецька
Ukraine
діаспора, тобто
before the
українські
invasion,
громадяни, а й в тому числі
and
самі
now
турки відправляють допомогу через
not only the Ukrainian diaspora in Turkey, but also the very Turkic people
Так, щоб не
send
несерйозному
humanitarian
завершувати, ми
aid to Ukraine.
розповідали про групу цей цирковий
Well,
театр,
we
який
have been
подорожує з
talking
Криму
about
цих 70
the
людей, які
group,
з'являються то на
a
протестах в
theatre
Херсоні, то в
group
Харкові, то ще десь. Це
who
відповідає дійсності. Справді людей
appear
з Криму
in
беруть для картинки
rallies
телевізійної
in
російської і
Kherson
возять
and in
їх різними
Berdyansk.
містами,
So is
і
it
вони
true that these
просто
are Crimean
виконують
people
ролі
who are
різних
just
тих
brought
самих
to different
протестантів
cities of
у різних
Ukraine
містах?
and they
Цю інформацію
perform the
знаходили,
roles
дійсно,
of
у пабліках, да, і
these
фотографії теж
people who
підтвердження
support
бачили.
Russia.
Тому
Yes, we
можливо, я
saw
не знаю,
these
чи всі
photos
70 людей, да, вони
on
лише
the
є
photo.
з Криму, я думаю,
We
що
saw these photos.
стосовували якби і
Well,
інших
there are about
громадян з
70 of
інших
them. I do not think that all of them
тимчасово
are from
окупованих, але
the
українських
Crimea.
наших
Probably they
обласних
are also from
регіонів.
other
Але
areas.
так, вони це роблять, тому що
But yes,
Російська
they do
Федерація
it
намагається фейками,
because the Russian
пропагандою
Federation
таким
is
чином
trying to
протидіяти
produce
нам. Але
fakes
я погоджуюся
they
абсолютно з
try
оцінками
to
наших міжнародних партнерів і
fight
експертів,
us
що
But I
Україна
agree with the
перемагає не
evaluations
лише
of
у
our
бойових діях, а
international
власне в
experts
інформаційній війні.
that
Світ
Ukraine
на нашій
also
стороні.
wins
Відповідно,
in
з
this
нами правда,
information war.
нам
The world is
нема
on
куди
our
звертати, нам
side.
лише йти вперед і
We
перемагати.
tell the truth,
Таміла
so
Ташева,
we go
заступниця
forward and
представника
we
президента
win.
України в
Таміла
Криму,
Ташева,
кримсько-татарська
Vice Head
правозахисниця.
of
Дякуємо
the
вам і
Ukrainian
разом до перемоги. Слава Україні!
President representative in the Crimea. Glory to Ukraine, glory to heroes. Now we shall have Віталій Загальний, who is Vice Head of Military and Civil Administration. And we shall try to clarify what is done and what will be done in this region. Well, the entrepreneurs of Lviv every day cook 25,000 lunches. We have about 200,000 people living in Lviv, and the same figure is about the region. If we take Kyiv region and the Lviv region and the city of Lviv, well, we have different situations. But in Lviv, we may open kindergartens, and we also have hybrid way of studying at schools. So it may be distance learning, and where it is possible, it may be offline studies. We didn't have any orders from Lviv administration about selling alcohol. We forbid selling alcohol during the curfew hours. Local self-governance bodies regulated selling alcohol. There were lots of questions regarding clarifications. Yesterday we explained the issues related to curfew hours and encourage business to start working. It means new jobs, business have to pay taxes, and as a result, will be able to see that the country is able to provide good living conditions for people. So I encourage you to work. We are ready to relocate the businesses from east of Ukraine. What is the number of casualties in Yavoriv peacekeeping center? What are the needs of Lviv hospitals? Thank you. Figures are just the same. The hospital needs some medications, but we all the time get people who are wounded, not only in Yavoriv peacekeeping center, but also all over Ukraine. So we need some blood, drugs, and people come and donate blood, and we are really grateful to these people because sometimes the lines are really, really long. I mean, the lines of those who would like to give blood. Yes, there are people who were wounded, who had severe wounds. 10 patients were in severe condition. In Yavoriv, there were no casualties among foreigners. These are fakes of the Russian Federation regarding foreign people being killed there. Are there any other foreign officers there? Yes, since 2014, since the beginning of war, foreign instructors were teaching Ukrainian military staff issues related to war tactics and strategy. Currently, it's easy and it is just to say that Russia is our adversary. Yes, it's our adversary fighting the Ukrainian army and Ukrainian people.
Увага! Говорить Департамент з питань цивільного захисту Львівської обласної державної адміністрації. Громадяни, повітряна тривога. Відключіть світло, газ, погасіть вогонь у печах. Візьміть засоби індивідуального захисту, документи, запас харчів та води. Попередьте сусідів та допоможіть хворим та людям похилого віку вийти на вулицю. Якнайшвидше дістаньтесь з захисної споруди або заховайтеся на місцевості. Дотримуйтесь спокою та порядку. Уважно слухайте повідомлення Департаменту з питань цивільного захисту Львівської облдержадміністрації. Увага! Говорить Департамент з питань цивільного захисту Львівської обласної державної адміністрації. Громадяни, повітряна тривога. Відключіть світло, газ, погасіть вогонь у печах. Візьміть засоби індивідуального захисту, документи, запас харчів та води. Попередьте сусідів та допоможіть хворим та людям похилого віку вийти на вулицю. Якнайшвидше дістаньтесь з захисної споруди або заховайтеся на місцевості. Дотримуйтесь спокою та порядку. Уважно слухайте повідомлення Департаменту з питань цивільного захисту Львівської облдержадміністрації. Увага! Говорить Департамент з питань цивільного захисту Львівської обласної державної адміністрації. Громадяни,